What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and ring the bell so you know when new videos come out. So we're going to take a look at Stadia running on the Edge browser on the Xbox. This happens to be my Series S, but I've tested this on the 1S, 1X, Series S, and Series X, and it works well. I am in the preview beta program, but I believe this this browser update is for everyone, if I'm not mistaken. And I do have everything set to 4K 60 with HDR and everything, but the Edge browser doesn't support above 1080p or HDR or anything like that. And I'll show you when we get into the game. So here we are on the Edge browser on the Xbox Series S. We're running through Wi-Fi, and I'm using the Xbox controller first, and we'll talk about that, and then we're going to go over to the Stadia controller. So launching into Jedi Fallen Order, this is where things can get a little quirky with the Xbox controller for me. No matter what I've done with settings and worked on things, it can have some issues always working properly in here in the browser. So you'll see what's going to happen here. If I hit any buttons, I'm going to get like a mouse cursor, double cursor show up here. And some of that can be solved when I unplug my keyboard and mouse. I definitely have huge issues if I leave the keyboard and mouse plugged in. Hit the menu or the back button or the view button first to bring this prompt up, then hold it down to get here. Now once you're here, you then need to hold the start or menu button to go back to use game controls, and then go back to back game, and now you'll be in game controls. And anytime this happens to you, you need to do that process to get your controls normal. Now here we are, we've got a great connection with the Wi-Fi and everything, but like I said, we don't have any 4K support, HDR support, 5.1, none of that through the Xbox with the Edge browser. It's all just standard 1080p, regardless what you try to do with settings or anything else. So now getting into the game anyway with the Xbox controller, once you get past some of the funkiness and the quirks and have everything working well, I didn't have any problems once I was in the game and I had the controller doing game controls and that type of thing. It wasn't too bad. Now what I do miss here is not having the Stadia button. I can hold down B, I believe it was, which also caused me some issues in game to exit the game. I could use my keyboard to shift tab and take a look. But like I said, if I don't unplug my keyboard and mouse, I have a lot of issues with the cursors coming back up and giving me problems even when I'm using the Xbox controller. So I highly recommend, if you're having issues with that, unplug your mouse and keyboard if you have one plugged into your Xbox, and just try the Xbox controller and do what I told you in the beginning with toggling out of the full screen, going back to game controls, and going back into the game. But other than that, the performance of the games is fantastic. This is just like using the browser or anything on the PC, using the Edge browser. Otherwise, I didn't have anything that really seemed any different. The quality was there. Of course, it's only 1080p with the stream, but it was clean. It worked well. And even with the quirks of the Xbox controller this way, the experience was good. The latency was still really good for me, and no major complaint or issue. And I would assume that with future updates, this should get even better. Now, I've also tested xCloud at another video, and we're going to do that more in the future, but I wanted to focus on Stadia here. Now, let's go back to the home. I want to go into Dirt 5. It's another game I wanted to check out, and I want to do this with the Stadia controller. So I have to go back to browser controls here to get over to the controller. Click on that, and I'll turn my Stadia controller on and connect. Now, once I do that, this is going to make the experience much better, because the Stadia controller doesn't have any of the quirks or issues that the Xbox controller sometimes has for me. Now, I do have to hold down the start button on the Xbox controller again to get rid of that icon up there, the cursor. Otherwise, it'll never go away. Go back to use game controls. Now, set the Xbox controller aside, and your Stadia controller will do everything from here. Again, no 4K support, HDR, or anything. I wanted to check in multiple games, which I did, and the browser is just 1080p. For that. Now into Dirt 5, a game that I've played on a lot of platforms, especially cloud, and I'm really used to how it performs and how I play the game and how I perform in the game. And really, again, no problems. A really clean stream for this on Wi-Fi, on the Xbox, on the Edge browser. With the Stadia controller, again, it was an even better experience. I didn't have any strange cursors showing up anymore. Everything was working really well with the controller, and really easy for me to use the Stadia button to check out the stream quality or exit the game, go home, whatever I need to do. And as you can see here, able to drive very well, no issues, no problems. Like I said, just like playing Stadia on the browser on the PC, but at 1080p rather than 1440 or 4K. And it was a really good experience overall. I could definitely see this having some potential, even if there's some little issues right now. So we're back now to the game here with our Stadia button, and that's pretty much going to do it. Very much like I said with xCloud when I tested that, and we'll do more of that in the future. It's really cool to see the potential in the future where cloud gaming is going and the kind of things that you could do that I never really thought of years ago. Really neat to see. So thanks a lot for coming and check out the video, guys. Again, don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell so you know when new videos drop. All right, thanks again for coming to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.